Buren County Quorum Court will come to order. All rise, please. We led in prayer by Sheriff Lucas Emberton, immediately followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Assessor Emma Smalley.
Go with me, with me. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you, Lord, for the day. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity, Lord, to gather together, Lord, and fellowship, Lord, and go over the business of our county, Lord. We just pray that you would lead and guide each one of us, Lord, as we go through tonight's meeting, Lord. We do everything that we do, Lord, to glorify your name, Lord. We just ask you to forgive us where we fail you. In Jesus' name. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Have a seat. Roll call.
Holt.
Here.
Nikki. Here. Sarah. Here. Phillips.
Here.
Hensley.
Here.
Bradford.
Here.
Tatum.
Here.
Lemings.
Here.
Bass.
Thank you. We have a couple of agenda items we need to approve. First of all, I would entertain a motion to read the budget ordinance by title only.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mary Phillips and a second by Sarah Brown to entertain the budget ordinance by title only. Any discussion on that? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Also, at this time, I would entertain a motion at the end to dispense with the audible reading of the transfers and to accept those as one bulk item.
So be it.
Second.
We have a motion by Justice Holt, a second by Nikki Brown to dispense with the audible reading of the transfers. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and I believe there were a couple of additional transfers that were added within the last 48 hours. Do I hear a motion to entertain those transfers with the rest of the transfers that were in the package?
Make a motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Nikki Brown, a second by Russell Hensley to entertain the additional transfers. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
Take a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
I have a motion by Justice Holt, a second by Justice Phillips to approve the minutes. Any discussion? All those in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Do I hear a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
I have a motion to approve by Justice Tatum, a second by Nikki Brown to approve the treasurer's report. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same with the appropriations analysis. I'll entertain a motion to approve the appropriations analysis.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion by Mary Phillips, a second by Nikki Brown to approve the appropriations analysis. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? You have a copy of the county road and equipment report, or is there any questions regarding that? Pretty much business as usual. As far as county judge's comments, first of all, Buren County is no stranger to devastating tornadoes, and our hearts and prayers go out to the victims over in Craighead County, in Monette and Leachville, and in that area. And hopefully they'll get the long-term recovery committees in place that Buren County was blessed with back during our tornadoes. And we can see those counties get put back together in a timely manner. Also, I'd like to take this time to appreciate everyone who served on the budget committee. It wasn't necessarily easy at all times, and not everyone agreed at all times. But when they said their vote, they all came together the way a good team and a good quorum court and committee does. And I truly, truly appreciate you guys. And I am shocked in a good way to see Carol Cruz with us tonight. We were all praying for your husband.
Thank you.
And we're glad that help was there when needed. And I don't think that was by accident. I think that was by design.
Absolutely, thank you all so
And
much.
thanks for being here. Sheriff's report is, do you have any questions for the sheriff? Or sheriff, would you like to address the court?
I can address them for just a minute. Number one, I want to thank the budget committee and everybody's hand in getting all our budgets put together and trying to get that passed. And we are very appreciative of Ms. Cruz being here, as I placed her husband on our prayer list at the church the other day, and that's tough stuff to go through. So we do appreciate her very much. We appreciate all the Quorum Court very much. You guys, you're like all the rest of us, a lot of hard work and very little pay. But somehow, at the end of the day, we all come together and we get it done, and I appreciate you very much. Any questions on my report, just let me know. Thank y'all.
Sheriff,
Yes.
has there been an uptick in thefts and stuff starting the Christmas season?
I would say to some degree,
Some degree.
not a whole lot, but we've seen a little bit more in the last 6 weeks maybe.
Okay.
But we've also recovered as well, so we've been pretty fast acting on that, as we had a break-in at the store at Shirley the other day. Less than 24 hours, we located him, located the money. We're in the process of getting the store back their money. Just gotta go through the paperwork and be released back to them, but
We appreciate everything y'all do.
these guys are working hard to try to patrol and keep that down, so
Thank you, officer.
thank y'all.
Thank you. Any elected officials here that would like to address the court? Susan?
You guys, that's all
Okay.
I'm saying.
No, I'm making sure. Any other department heads that would like to address the court? Danny or library or anyone? Okay, excellent. Court, do you have any questions for any elected officials in our presence? Good deal. Next on the agenda is animal shelter discussion. I gave all of you a copy of the letter that we received from SNP. As you're aware, Van Buren County owns half of the property that SNP operates out of that used to be the Van Buren County Animal Shelter. The city of Clinton owns the other half of that. And SNP will cease to operate as of June 30th, 2022. And this will be a period of open discussion concerning what you believe the county's role should be in that operation, so we know what we're looking at going forward. And don't everyone speak at once.
Well, I'll just start off with, this has always been a long time thing with the shelter over there. But I definitely believe that if there's a private organization that would want to take it over, that I believe that the Quorum Court and the county would work with them wholeheartedly to try to make it work. Or if the city wanted to take it over, but as far as the county, I don't think that we need to be in the dog pound business.
I believe that, and I'm an animal lover,
But I believe it's a point in time where the county no longer needs to be involved in the animal shelter whatsoever. I think a civilian organization needs to come in, the city needs to give up their half and let somebody else run that shelter that is strictly civilian, because most of the animal shelters are not run by city or county.
I'm just gonna say that I go with Brian on that. If the city would be interested, I think they would be our first look to, since they own half the building. I don't know if they were interested in that or not. I would like to see it either by the city or a private organization carried on, but as far as from the county, I think it would be a better fit with a different organization.
I can definitely agree with that. I also think that we should give props to SNP for their time and all that they've done over the years. It's definitely appreciated. I don't know if there are grants for these kinds of things, but if the city or somebody would be willing.
And I know that those volunteers, and you're exactly right, Sarah, with
Yeah.
SNP have poured their heart and their soul and their time, and for probably little things. And so they are definitely deserving of thanks and the hard work that they put into it. And I can't imagine going every day, early in the morning, and feeding, and then walking, making sure, all the things that they do that goes unseen. So it's just great all that they've done, and hopefully there's a way that someone else can step in. You know.
Justice Hensley, do you have any remarks?
No.
Babs?
No. It seems to be a problem with them. We have a problem with the turnover in that working at that shelter home. Is it because that the county and the city are involved? Or
We're only involved right now to the point that we have the property. And we provide just a little bit of support, not much, in the fact that in the contract, we're responsible for the roof and the walls. And that's about it. And I know the city went in and put in a grinder pump and did some things for them and tried to assist. And they were their own organization.
With that being said, and I, because I just literally do not know, how does maybe the sheriff can help us on this, but how does the animal control officer, where's that come from? Where's that money come from? Half of it come from the county, half of it from the city, how does that work?
I was gonna address that as soon as y'all can. Because it might help you on the county's part of it. So, our animal control officer is Tim Pike, and he is paid for everything through us except for the city pays us $20,000 of part of his salary. However, I believe it was the city council meeting before last, they're in discussion of running a resolution to not participate in paying their part of the contract for his salary, which is not a problem for your sheriff. I'll take over that, and I'll continue to provide for Mr. Pike. But I've got other things that he can do at our office. So, but if that comes about, then we will obviously not respond to animal control calls in the city. We'll deal with animal control in the county. So, I missed the last city council meeting, so I'm not exactly sure where they're at on that. So I can get with the mayor and maybe a city council member too and try to get us some answers.
Did they say why? Just out of curiosity.
No.
Sounds like they're wanting out of business too.
That was one of my questions. How is that going to affect Officer Pike as far as what is he going to do with the animals? I mean, is he just going to be able to write citations and things like that?
Well, yeah, most generally in the county, we take care of the issues with warnings and citations.
Right.
We contact the owners, but most of your calls in the county are larger animals.
Okay.
You're talking about cows and horses and things like that. Dogs and cats in the county, they most generally take care of themselves. Or their owners, they talk, neighbors, back and forth, and they kind of work that out most generally. Sometimes we have some issues, but most of the time, neighbors in the county, they take care of themselves, get, good citizens that do that. But in the city, you don't always know everybody's animals, and they can be 4 houses down really quick. Where in the county, it's not that easy. They're bigger property and stuff, so. But warnings and citations and visiting with owners and stuff is what we normally do in the county, so.
I'd like to say something that I've been on this long enough that I remember the problems we had with that. And how very nice it was that SNP came in and relieved us of the problem. I do not want to see us back in the animal business again.
Bradford?
Everything's been said.
Excellent.
Yeah, I don't think the county needs to be in the dog and cat and patrol business either, so I don't think we have the funds to do that. And I'd like to see that money to be put for senior citizens or other things in our county than what we put in there.
I think something that would be in order would be a resolution that we would pass maybe next month, and maybe every one of you could sponsor it, that would appreciate SNP for their 5 years of service and the value they brought to Van Buren County.
Absolutely.
Is there anyone who would not like to sponsor that ordinance, or that resolution, I mean? Excellent, I will get that written up and have that in the packet next Quorum Court.
Do you want me to invite Ms. Lloyd?
You absolutely can. When they came in at a time that we really needed them. And it's a lot different when you have an organization that is in it for the right reason. And I think I do appreciate them for being a part of this for so long. Any other discussion before we move on? Good discussion, thank you guys. On to new business. First ordinance is sponsored by Justice Tatum, and that one is the one that you've agreed to do by title only.
Been enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an appropriation ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance to establish the annual operating budget for the calendar year of 2022. I move that we approve as written.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Justice Tatum and a second by Justice Holt. Feel free to discuss.
Well, I'll just bring that real quick since it's already been brought up, but I also want to thank all the budget committee, but I also want to thank all the elected officials. It is a team effort from the word go, and we did a lot of things that we wanted to do this year. There's a lot of things we weren't able to do, but we are looking forward to finishing some of that in the future on that. There's a lot of hard work that went into this, and for everybody that on the budget, or on the Quorum Court, you're welcome to come up and sit in on some of these, and especially if you have questions on how things are done. It's not always, as the judge said, we don't always agree, but at the end of the day, we come up to a decision and we move forward with it. So,
I want to thank Brian. I've been on this merry-go-round for quite a few years, and I like his attitude. I like the way he does business, and he's been a strong leader in this whole show. And folks, if you've never been on a budget committee before, the hours that we have spent, it's a long, sometimes tiring business to do, but it has to be done. It's got to be done right. We have to do what's right for the county. We have to do it by law. And it's just an effective process that with a leader like Brian couldn't go wrong.
Would you care to cover a few of the highlights of this year's budget? What changed?
What we were able to do is we've been lacking, one of our big changes is with the sheriff's office, with the deputies. It's always been a shame that we ask deputies to go out and protect us, or when your house is getting broke into, you want them to come in and take care of the bad guy for $13, $14 an hour. And so we were able to raise their salaries up this year. We were shooting for a minimum of $15 an hour. We didn't quite make that totally, but we're real doggone close on that. That was one of the biggest things that we did on the budget, and we really wanted to do some more stuff, and we just didn't feel comfortable with it, with the way the money was to do that. So but that's the biggest one we had.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
I'd also like to point out that this was, we called it the year of law enforcement. They always got left behind because of the amount of employees that the sheriff's office has, which is around 50, I believe, with the detention center and the officers. So it was hard to give raises for that many people rather than, you know, assessor or treasurer. There's just a few in their office. So I'd like to point out that the other elected officials were in support of this, and they were all on board, didn't complain a bit, and thought it was very well deserved. So everybody worked together, and I'm very grateful for that.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Roll call vote?
Holt,
Yes.
Nikki,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum,
Yes.
Lemings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yeah,
2021-51.
2021.
51. Was that 51?
51.
51. Justice Hensley, you have the next ordinance.
Being enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an appropriation ordinance to be entitled, an appropriation ordinance to amend the original appropriation ordinance number 2020-42, the annual operating budget for 2021, to increase the projected revenue and appropriate $500 into the sheriff's office budget number 1000-400. Whereas the sheriff's office has received a check in the amount of $500 from the Association of Arkansas Counties for a deductible reimbursement for a 2018 Chevy Silverado, and whereas this money needs to be appropriated into the sheriff's office budget number 1000-400-2023 parts and repairs. Now therefore it be ordained by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that section 1, $500 be appropriated into the sheriff's office budget number 1000-400-2023 parts and repairs. I move we approve as written.
Second.
We have a motion to adopt by Justice Hensley and a second by Justice Tatum. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Holt.
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
2021-52.
Thank you. The next ordinance is sponsored by Justice Lemings.
Be enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, the State of Arkansas, appropriation ordinance to be entitled, appropriation ordinance to amend the original appropriation ordinance 2022-42, the annual operating budget for 2021, to increase the projected revenue and appropriate $11,870 into the school resource officers SRO budget 1000-411. Whereas the SRO received a pay increase for the school year of 2021 and 2022 by each school, and whereas the county budget was approved, it was for the previous amount, and whereas the school refund these monies to the county, this increase will be appropriated into the SRO budget to be able to make the payroll for the remaining 2021. Now therefore be it ordained by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that Section 1, $11,870 be appropriated into the SRO budget 1000-411-1001 salaries full-time. I move that we approve it as written.
Second.
We have a motion to adopt by Justice Lemings, a second by Justice Holt. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Holt.
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
2021-53.
Thank you. Our next ordinance is sponsored by Justice Bradford.
Be it enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an appropriation ordinance to be entitled, an appropriation ordinance to amend the original appropriation ordinance 2020-42, the annual operating budget for 2021, to increase the projected revenue and appropriate $115.97 into the Van Buren County Agent's budget 1000-411. Whereas the phone bill has been higher than expected, making the other services and charges group to run over budget. Now therefore be ordained by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that Section 1, $115.97 be appropriated into the Van Buren County Agent's Budget, 1,801-3020, phone and fax. I move that this ordinance be approved.
Second.
We have a motion by Justice Bradford, a second by Justice Phillips. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Holt.
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
2021-54.
Excellent. Sarah, will you have the next one?
Be it enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an appropriation ordinance to be entitled, an appropriation ordinance to amend the original appropriation ordinance number 2020-42, the annual operating budget for 2021 to increase the projected revenue for county general and appropriate $6,975.78 into the district court budget number 1000-409. Whereas the district court will be receiving a check in the amount of $8,975.78 to refund amounts spent for training and travel, and whereas $2,000 of the refund was appropriated into the district court budget in November of 21 with ordinance 2021-49 to help pay bills that were due. Now therefore be it ordained by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that $6,975.78 be appropriated into the district court budget number 1000-409 as stated below. 1,409-2002 uniforms, $322.66. 1,409-3090 dues and memberships, $75. 1,409-3094 meals and lodging, $2,342.12, and 1,409-3101 training and education, $4,235. I move to approve as written.
We have a motion by Justice Brown, a second by Sarah Brown, and a second by Justice Hensley. Any discussion?
I just have a question. Where is this refunded from? Is this from the state? I'm just curious.
Arkansas State Police Safety, Arkansas State Police Safety, Highway Safety Division.
Okay.
For our trip to Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do any good up there?
I'm sorry?
Did you do any good up there?
Yeah. I taught them a lot and they taught me things.
Seemed to be a whole lot happening.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Holt.
Yep.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
2021-55.
Thank you. Next, we have a resolution sponsored by Justice Bass.
Be it resolved by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, a resolution to be entitled, Resolution authorizing the county judge and Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, to enter into a contract with Delivery Concepts Incorporated of Bloomingdale, Illinois, for the purchase of one meal delivery truck for the Van Buren County AG program. Whereas the Van Buren County, Arkansas has received funding through the Arkansas Economic Development Commission for the purchase of the meal delivery truck, and whereas bids have been received for the meal delivery truck, all bids have been reviewed and recommendation for award has been made. And whereas it is necessary for the county judge and the county clerk to sign a purchase order prior to the purchase of the meal delivery truck. Now therefore be it resolved by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that the Van Buren County Quorum Court hereby declares that the county judge and county clerk be authorized to execute a contract with Delivery Concepts Incorporated of Bloomingdale, Illinois, in the amount of $52,616 $2,058.70 for the purchase of the meal delivery truck. Said cost not to exceed be exceeded without the proper executed change orders. The cost of the meal delivery truck will be paid with grant funds from the Arkansas Economic Development Commission. I move for its adoption.
Second.
We have a motion by Justice Bass and a second by Justice Tatum to adopt this resolution. Any discussion?
This total amount will be paid by Arkansas Economic Development Commission.
Correct.
County's not responsible.
This resolution is a requirement for the grant. Good question. Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Holt.
Yep.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
2021-20.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the transfers as presented.
Make a motion to approve transfers as presented.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Justice Holt and a second by Justice Lemings. I think y'all did it at the same time. Any discussion or questions? All those in favor of approval of the transfers signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Excellent. Any other discussion that any justices would like to make before we adjourn? And right before we adjourn, I'll say Merry Christmas. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any opposed?
Merry Christmas.